What good are laws if the Jefferson County prosecutor only prosecutes who he doesn't like? Oh, it's not personal. It's about what the public thinks of you. Do they like you? Do they like the way you dress? Do they like the way you vote? Do they like your medical decisions? Do they like if you're a liberal or a conservative or a lesbian or gay or a man or a woman, small or big? Who they like is what determines whether Jefferson County prosecutor James Kennedy will prosecute or not. How does that work? Well, it's just the police get probable cause. They get all the evidence. They send it to the prosecutor, or they contact him and say, hey, you want to prosecute this? And the prosecutor's like, if it's nobody they know or nothing they've heard of, they're like, okay, well, yeah, okay. And then they start getting the calls. The nonprofits, the do-gooders that want to, save a dog or save a life or save something that they deem is important, the life they've decided is important. And then they contact the prosecutor over and over. So it becomes political. It's not unbiased. It's not equal protection under the law. It's not you're innocent until proven guilty. It's none of that. If the mob in Port Townsend wants you prosecuted, you will be. Like in the Michael Allman case. Homeless guy's dog. They didn't look at Michael. They said, oh, the dog looks sad. They didn't look at the man. They wanted the dog. And Michael Allman case chronology.blogspot.com shows how they did it. I've sent it to all of the agencies. I sent it to the sheriff here. I've sent it to everybody. Nobody cares. From day one, they did wrong by this man. Okay, they lied on where they had his dog. They took his dog again a couple years later. Other people reported him. The court ordered that his dog be returned to him, and the prosecutors and the city attorney, they all just defied a court order. And the reason was because a bunch of these women, I'm just going to say, middle-aged white women sitting around bored out of their skulls, like nothing fulfilling in their life. They're like, hey, that dog needs saved, right? No humanity for the man. And when you're homeless and you have a dog, anybody with a brain or a heart or any sort of logic or compassion at all knows that you do not take the animal from the homeless person. Take them together, help them together, because it literally is life or death. But they decided they wanted to do something good, so they ganged up on this man. They stalked him, they followed him, they let the dog out of the car, they eventually let the dog off of a lead. They're the ones that set it up. They set it up with the cop, Officer Wendy Davis. They set it up with the prosecutor, Julie St. Marie, and Center Valley Animal Rescue. They all premeditated it, I proved that, to steal his property, right? The wolf dog was uncut. Each puppy was worth $800 to $2,000. They took it all from him illegally, then charged him to keep the dog, and then sued him because he didn't pay that charge, then kept the dog. And Michael got criminal charges. Okay, the vet testified that it was incurable skin condition. So a few $1,000s helping him or skin cream for life, but instead they spent well over $100,000. Last I knew it was $70,000 just for Michael's attorney. Then the judge said he's guilty because he didn't prove he was indigent, but you, the taxpayer, paid nearly $100,000 in legal fees. I filed complaints on all these people. Jefferson County Sheriff Joe Nole, same thing, right? It's politics. If all of these people are going to vote for them, it's who they say broke the law. That's what matters. And so in the case of Julie Jamon in the press conference, all those felony assaults went away the very next day. The mayor's law firm got involved, talked to the buddies, the prosecutors. They sent over an email. They had Ryan Harris, who assaulted an officer. Officer testimony, officer witness. He was out by the next morning. Sam Feinson of the mayor's law firm sent a public records request to the city, got it within a couple hours. And then a couple hours after that, the prosecutor's office sent an email to the jail, and he got out. Felony assault 3, no hearing, no muss, no fuss. None of the felony assaults were charged that night because it's on the right side of the political agenda, because it's what the mayor wants, okay? Not, did you commit the crime? You see felony assaults in Port Townsend, you watch the hearings they put them on YouTube, or you wouldn't seen them in person, right? It's selective prosecution. if you get in their web, you're guilty. It's not based on did you commit the crime. The crime is on video. There are victims of the crime. There are lifelong injuries, stolen property, intimidation, bullying, emotional damage, physical damage, medical records, video. And the prosecutor, James Kennedy, decides, well, the people don't really like those guys and they like these guys, so this person's guilty and that person's guilty based on emotion. Very partisan, very predator, very, I will decide who's guilty if I like you or not. Now, it works that way in a lot of places, of course, but you know, Port Townsend tries to sell itself as we are human rights. We love everybody. We're equal rights. We love immigrants. We're about mental health. You know, I'm just telling you, they're lying, right? It's hypocrisy. They only care about who they care about based on the definitions that they've put on you. And they don't like folks like me because I tell on them. I tell the truth. I'm not going to lie for anybody. I'm not going to lie to keep a job, and I'm not going to violate someone's constitutional rights to keep a job or even a house or even to live indoors. I'm not going to lie. Okay? My kind of people that I am, they don't like that kind of people. And they accuse me of stalking and harassing and all these things. Now, just reporting on their actual words and actual actions with proof. I've sent in internal affairs complaints to Joe Nole. All the proof in the Michael Allman case. The cops set that man up, nearly killed him. Proof. Nobody cares. It's who you vote in. They decide whether you're guilty or not. Not, you have the right to be. No. It depends on if the clattering ninnies, the loudmouth mob, the prejudiced, cruel, name-calling bullies of Port Townsend decide they don't like you. They pressure the police and pressure the prosecutors and pressure the sheriff, and you're magically guilty, whether you did it or not. And you're magically not guilty even if you did it. Hate crimes, assault, all just disappears. Very prejudiced. You watch some of these people in jail for felony 3 assault. They're in there for quite a while, and they got fines, and they got all this stuff going on. And they got trials, right? But not Ryan Harris, assault 3 on an officer. How disrespectful to our officers here in Port Townsend. It's legal to assault them, and the prosecutor and the mayor's law firm have a little phone call, have a little coffee or beer, whatever they did, and then magically they signed a letter that very next morning for Ryan Harris from the Jefferson County Prosecutor's Office for him a get-out-of-jail-free card. So it doesn't matter what crimes are committed in Port Townsend. It matters who you know, which side of the politics that you're on. You can go downtown Port Townsend and hit an officer. You can kick women. You can scream at people. You can hit them with signs. You can do anything you want as long as you're on the right team. And it's not red or blue because, our group was very diverse. It's not a particular religion. It's just based on their emotion of the day, and their emotion gets carried away. Faber likes to always call about us moral panic. It's their moral panic. It's their discrimination and their prejudice. It's not based on law. So you can commit a crime in Port Townsend, Washington, and you're just not guilty if you know the mayor, or if you're on their side of the issue. And he said no impropriety, no hint of even bias when he ran for office. Bull. So come to Port Townsend, commit crimes. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's regular for the regular system and the regular criminals, right? But when somebody decides, hey, that man's dog looks skinny, or that turf or bigot needs to be kicked, guilty, not guilty, depends on opinion. Whether they like you or not. Nothing to do with the law.